Action.
Hi, John.
Hi, Pete.
You got those titles for 5118 yet?
Well, I got most of them right here. Here are the cast titles.
That's fine. Looks like we've got a good cast on this picture.
And here are the credit titles. Look all right?
It's a nice job, John. Now, what about the symbol of the signalman for background?
Oh, here you are.
Well, that's fine. You've really caught the spirit.
Well, I'll finish the presentation card as soon as I find out the main title. How about that? When are they going to make up their minds on what to call this picture?
I don't know. Everybody's had a go at it, but none of the titles seem to fit exactly.
You just can't go on calling it Production 5118.
We're going to have to until somebody comes up with a better title.
Well, that's the producer's problem. Then there were 3 quotations or maxims or something.
That's right. They're on the set now. They work today.
Oh, say, you'll want to check this final piece of artwork.
Oh, no, don't do that. That doesn't come till the end of the picture.
Cut! Okay, that's the print. Bob, that's all in this set. Oh, John, nice little scene. You really look confused at the end.
Look confused? I am confused. Why that big deal about that final piece of artwork?
Well, like he said, that doesn't work till the end of the picture, the very last shot, in fact.
Maybe I'm a little stupid or something, but so what?
Well, you see, from the viewpoint of our audience, this is the beginning of the picture.
Oh. Well, I'm glad I'm stupid. How about a cup of coffee?
Oh, not right now. They need me over in the factory set. I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
Good coffee today, Joe. Must be a fresh pot.
Hi, Barbara.
Oh, hi, John.
Coffee, please, black. Say, you're the guy in that drawing, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. Hey! Quiet, please. Action. Ready to go?
Yeah, but started off slow.
This is the last production run. As soon as it's finished, we start dismantling the machine for shipment to Boylesville.
How soon can we get this out of here?
Oh, 3 weeks, maybe less.
Well, make it less than if you can. We want to get production over in Boylesville by the end of next month.
I know, Mr. Baxter, and we'll do our best.
Good. Well, let's get back to your office and look at those layouts. Good morning, Jackson.
Morning, Mr. Baxter.
Morning.
Good morning.
I suppose I'm impatient, but I just can't wait to get that new equipment installed in here. By the time we get this move finished, we'll be top dog in the industry. 5 years ahead of anybody.
You don't have to tell me, Phil. And think what this is going to mean to our people. Why, we'll be upgrading practically the entire force.
Yeah, for instance, that fellow Jackson. He's supervisor of material, knows how to think.
Don't worry, I've had my eye on him.
Cut!
Okay, that's a print. Have the boys start moving the crates in. We'll knock out some office scenes while they're redressing the set.
Anything more for me?
Oh, thank you very much. Nice job.
My pleasure, thank you. Nice working with you. See
Good
you
luck.
again. Bye.
You know something? I've spent a lot of years in this business, and I've never seen such a mixed-up picture before. What's it all about, anyway?
Oh, I guess you'd call it communications.
Well, for heaven's sake, say so the audience understands.
You understand communications?
Are you kidding? Telephone, telegraph, radio, airmail, back fence, grapevine, everybody understands communications.
But do they understand how to understand and be understood when they're communicating?
Hey, you're talking in riddles.
Sometimes it seems like riddles, too. Yet understanding is what we're after when we try to communicate. And mutual understanding is what makes the difference between cooperation and forced obedience.
All right, then, tell the people, look, this is a movie about communications. Why not?
Because, as you say, they already know all about communications, or think they do. So they'd probably walk out on us.
Brother, so you gotta fool them to make things clear.
On the contrary, you've got to make things clear so they won't be fooled. For instance, Who are we and what are we doing right now? From the audience's viewpoint.
Why, we're a couple of actors discussing a movie off the set.
That's right. But if the audience is able to understand what's behind its own viewpoint by means of a larger viewpoint, then it will realize that we are actually playing our parts in a larger picture. Taking the larger viewpoint makes anything understandable.
Now, you can say that again. But don't. Look, I'm still way out in the left field. Just what good's all this going to do the audience, anyway?
Well, that's up to the people in the audience. Of course, they're going to have to use imagination. But by the time this picture is ended, it will have revealed a basic answer to every problem of mutual understanding, from how to get along with your wife to international peace.
Well, do you think the guy who wrote this picture understands how to communicate?
I don't know. If he does, he'll finally make himself understood, won't he? Let's go in and watch them shoot the next scene, hmm?
All right.
Action. Lorraine, would you come in for a moment, please?
This is Miss Johnson, Mr. Baxter. Lorraine is home, ill.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's too bad. Well, come in, please, Miss Johnson. Well, I do hope Lorraine will be able to get back soon.
I know, but I'll do my best, Mr. Baxter.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, I guess maybe I took it the wrong way.
Of course. Now, Miss Johnson, this afternoon when Mr. Davis and Mr. Walters come, I want the new layouts for both the Boylesville plant and this one. And the cost estimates for, would you take that, please?
Mr. Baxter's office? It's personnel, Mr. Knowlton.
Oh, yes, yes. Hello, John. Yes, I wanted to talk to you about Jim Burke. I understand he just got elected president of the school board. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely not. We've got a plant to think of. We've got to protect the company. Yes, that's right. No. The company has got to come first. Right. You dock his paycheck for any job time lost on school business. Right. Well, I think you know what I want for the meeting this afternoon, Miss Johnson. Have it here at 1:30, please.
I will, Mr. Baxter.
Oh, and here's a memo you might as well take while you're here. Inter office, Mr. Lloyd Renfro, shop supervision, dear Mr. Renfro. Just a note to congratulate both you and your son, Lloyd Jr., on his fine achievement in winning the statewide essay contest on the responsibilities of the corporation to the community. You have every reason to feel proud, and so has he. I hope Lloyd Jr. will follow his father's footsteps into the company when he leaves school. We can use men capable of the larger viewpoint of good citizenship in industry. Sincerely, that's all. Something wrong?
Oh, well, it's nothing, really. I guess I just don't understand big business very well.
Well, any business is really very simple. What seems to trouble you?
Well, like this letter to Mr. Renfro. It seems almost like a contradiction. Well, I mean, isn't Mr. Burke trying to practice the kind of citizenship that young man wrote about in his prize essay?
Well, in the case of Mr. Burke, the situation is different.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Now, if the company is really interested in being a good citizen...
Yes, Miss Johnson, you have a point, but it would be rather difficult for me to explain just offhand.
Oh, please don't think I'm trying to criticize the company.
Oh, I understand. You ask a completely sincere question, and you deserve a completely sincere answer. But the answer must be complete. And just at the moment,
Of course. I see. Would that be all?
Yes, that'll be all. Thank you very much, Miss Johnson. Knowlton, Baxter again. There's a Miss Johnson taking my dictation while Lorraine is ill. She seems to be a very intelligent girl with an unusual interest in sociological relations. Do you happen to know her background? Well, it might be helpful if you gave her that booklet on the American way of business. It might help clarify her viewpoint. You know, sort of put her on the right track, inasmuch as she does have contact with top management. Yes, I think we should do everything we can to help her develop the broad perspective. Don't you agree? Right. Thank you. Cut.
Is that okay for camera, Bob?
That's all right to me, Phil.
That's a print, Marcia.
You know, Phil, I can't figure this character I'm playing. Is Baxter a right guy or isn't he?
Of course he's the right guy, completely sincere.
Well, the way this is written, part of the time he sounds like a stuffed shirt. Here, let me show you. All right, here, look. Protect the company. Think of the company first. Dockie's paycheck for any time lost on school business. That kind of attitude.
That's right.
Then he can turn right around and be the helpful, fatherly type to the stenographer. How do you figure that switch?
Is it a switch?
Of course it is. Read his lines.
Yeah, but that's only half the scene. To see the whole picture, you must consider all the parts that make up the scene. Let me visualize the whole scene as it'll play on the screen. Frank, let's take it from the phone bell.
Mr. Baxter's office? It's personnel, Mr. Norton.
Oh, yes. Hello, John. Yes, I wanted to talk to you about Jim Burke. I understand he was just elected president of the school board.
That's right. Now I have your note suggesting that we should absorb Burke's lost job time. But if we do, we'll be creating a precedent that could be very dangerous, very unfair. I know how you feel about encouraging participation in community activities, but after all, we've got 400 hourly workers. Probably every one of them has some community interest. Do we absorb lost job time for all of them?
Absolutely not. We've got a plant to operate. We've got to protect the company.
That's right. If we're not careful, we'd find ourselves in the position of having to judge the degree of importance of dozens or even hundreds of community activities. We'd have half the force mad at the other half, all of them mad at the company.
No. We've got to think of the company first.
That's exactly the way Burke feels about it, too. Matter of fact, he argued against absorbing his lost time. He sees the big picture. Probably why they wanted him to head the school board. Okay, then. I'll just disregard your note and handle it as routine policy.
Right. Dockie's paycheck for any job time lost on school business. Thank you.
Well, what do you think of the character you're playing?
Now his attitude makes sense.
Sure, now that you can see all sides of the problem.
Well, naturally, it wasn't practical or even smart to explain the whole situation to Miss Johnson. But Baxter handled it. He fixed it so she'd learned the broad viewpoint, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, he fixed things, but everybody's not happy.
Oh, why not?
Let me visualize the following scene from Knowlton's end of the line.
Right, Mr. Baxter. I'll handle it. Say, Joe,
Yes, Mr. Knowlton?
what about the Miss Johnson you sent up to take Baxter's dictation? Isn't she the girl with a couple of college degrees? The one who reads books you and I wouldn't understand?
That's right. Really deep. The other girls call her the brain.
Maybe that's good, maybe not. Anyway, the skipper seems to feel we should straighten out her sociological viewpoint.
Brother, sounds like she must have carried a soapbox into the boss's office.
Oh, I doubt that. Yet it could be. All he said was that he wanted her to read The American Way of Business. Get her thinking on the right track.
Uh-oh. By gosh, you never can tell about these young intellectuals.
I just hope she isn't carrying the torch for some crackpot left-wing cause. Anyway, look into her background and let me know what you find.
I sure will. We better catch up with her before she starts quoting Karl Marx to the board of directors.
Well, how do you like that? Now would you say everybody is happy?
But that isn't what Baxter had in mind at all. All he wanted to do...
Look, you've got your ideas, I've got mine, Knowlton's got his. And our audience has theirs. Communications, Frank. Communications.
Yeah. It looks like no matter what Baxter does, he's headed for trouble.
It's always easy to see someone else heading for trouble, isn't it? Excuse me, Frank. Okay, boys, will you move the camera for the next setup?
You seem to know a lot about this
Watch your
story.
feet.
What part do you play?
I'm a signalman. You know, the guy who used to send and receive messages between ships at sea.
How do you fit in this picture?
Oh, I represent Mr. Baxter's intelligence, his awareness, or maybe his conscience. I'm involved in this from here on. Stick around and watch.
How did you get in? What do you want?
I guess that's up to you to figure out.
Look, if you don't explain your intentions, I must assume they aren't good and act accordingly.
Fine, you've learned something.
What do you mean, I've learned something?
Why, that people don't like unexplained intentions. That's been the cause of most of your trouble, you know.
Trouble? I'm not in any trouble. Oh, not in any trouble I can't handle anyway. With a little common sense.
No, you're absolutely right about that. But you haven't used that common sense. That's why you're under arrest.
Under arrest? What for?
Failing to follow and give signals properly.
Well, officer, if you think you can make a silly charge like...
I'm not an officer.
Well, then what are you?
I'm a signalman, just as you are.
Don't be silly. I'm a businessman. My job is to manage this corporation.
And you're also a signalman. Everyone is. Everything that people do together depends upon sending, receiving, and interpreting signals from each other. So we're all signalmen.
But that's absurd. You're not the same as I am. Ha! You see? You don't even exist except in my own imagination.
How do you know it isn't exactly the other way around? Just a matter of viewpoint. In the view of this court, we are the same.
But none of this makes any sense at all. It's just a bad dream.
Who knows where the dream ends and the reality begins? Well, shall we hold the trial?
I suppose you're going to be the judge, too.
No, no, no. You are.
Cut.
In that last scene, of course, you noticed a couple of examples of trick photography. The point we want to get across to you is no trick. The point is, you can't always be sure who's right when you bring two viewpoints together. Maybe they're both right. Maybe everyone's right. Well, shall we have the trial scene?
Your Honor, in order to evaluate the record of the person Philip J. Baxter, we must introduce some of the witnesses who have chartered the prisoner to engage in the businesses of being a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a friend, a citizen, a member of the community, a fellow employee, a pillar of the church, and otherwise to function as intended.
Wait. There's my daughter. That's my wife. There's Jackson. I know these people. What are they doing here?
Why, that's the jury.
But they all have personal interests.
Yes, I guess they do. In fact, everyone has personal interests.
Then they ought to be challenged. My attorney should...
Oh, I am your attorney.
I thought you were the prosecutor.
That's right, too.
And I am the judge and the prisoner. The witnesses are on the jury. This is the craziest mixed-up trial anyone ever heard of.
And that's life. The craziest mixed-up trial anyone ever heard of. Shall we proceed?
Who are those people?
They are members of the community. The other defendant in this case...
What other defendant?
The corporation. The corporation is chartered to function as a person in all of the capacities.
The corporation is only a person created by law. It isn't a real person.
I think it's time we clarified that point of view right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to realize that this picture is not only about Mr. Baxter and his corporation. It is about every person and every corporate entity, including you, no matter who you are or what you are. You don't have to be the president. You could just as well be a foreman or a machine operator or a clerk or an apprentice. Now, on the other hand, of course, if you were just an animal or a thing like a camera and did not have the ability to reason beyond the things that you can see or touch, then you'd have no business being in this audience. And now, let's get on with the trial, shall we?
First witness.
If it please the court, we will have to interview the witnesses where they stand. That is the only way to understand a witness.
Very well.
You realize you're in the shop now.
Well, of course I realize it. I know this plant inside out. I'm a self-made man.
I've never known anyone who wasn't. Well, this is the place. See all these crates?
Oh, yes, that's machine number 11. We intend to overhaul it and set it up in our new plant over in Boylesville.
Going to move the people, too?
Oh, no, of course not. We intend to get new, more advanced equipment in here and put this plant on higher class work. We can upgrade our people. They'll make more money. The corporation will be stronger, and we'll become the leader of the industry. Biggest payroll in the community.
Your people know all this, of course.
Oh, they'll find out in time.
Correction. They have found out.
There's been a leak.
No, on the contrary, there's been a missing signal, so they had to supply one on their own.
What do you mean, on their own?
Listen.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, and here goes our biggest machine.
They've been building up Boylesville ever since they bought the place.
Plain as the nose on your face. They're getting ready to close this plant.
And suppose I don't want to move to Boylesville?
Who says they're going to ask you?
I never thought of that. How about you, Jackson?
Well, I got a new job lined up right now. I'm leaving next week.
But that's Jackson. He's one of the men I was counting on promoting to a bigger job. What? Who gave him that bum steer?
You did.
But it's all wrong. It isn't true.
Do we have to go all through that business again of deciding what's true and what isn't? What's true to them is true to them. That's the only signal they got from you. And it's a true signal as they see it. You're the cause of your own trouble.
But what did I do wrong?
You didn't give them the whole story. You let them know the machinery was being moved, but you let them guess why. They did.
Can't we keep anything confidential?
As soon as something is known to exist, it's no longer confidential, is it?
Do we have to tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry our business? We don't trouble other people.
You don't?
Well, not intentionally.
And just what are the intentions of your company?
The same as any modern, progressive company. Conform to sound ethical practices, produce quality products at competitive prices, pay fair wages, pay a reasonable return to our shareholders, and advance with the times. In short, a strong, healthy, growing enterprise. That's the foundation of our whole American competitive system.
Is that all?
Well, we have a long-range obligation to plow part of our profits back into the business so that we can make still better products at still more attractive prices. But even that's an obligation to the people. It's done in their interest.
Don't you feel an obligation to support the community in any other way?
Support the... Look at the taxes we pay. Of course we support the community. I give my own time as much as I can to community affairs. Everybody knows that.
Let's see how well everybody knows that.
Our corporations are our biggest and strongest citizens. And we need big, strong citizens today. Not only to keep this town healthy, but also the country, even the world.
Corporate citizens, huh? This corporation's an animal.
What do you mean?
I mean just that. Their policy is to keep strong and healthy and keep growing. Old man Baxter says so himself.
Why, that is just like an animal.
This thing is getting more ridiculous by the moment. Now they've got the idea we're not even human.
That's right. And how did they get that idea?
Cut!
Hank, we'll need the nameplate and the folio. Gentlemen, we've got problems. We've got to do something here.
We in trouble?
Well, we're running short of time. We've still got some case histories to play out.
That's right. For instance, we haven't shown the employee reaction to plowing profits back into the business.
Oh, what happened to Miss Johnson, the secretary? By now, she's probably branded a security risk.
And certainly we ought to cover unions and the various aspects of labor relations.
Yeah, and there are some incidents from Baxter's personal life which prove even his family and social relations suffer from bad signaling. All too often, he's not getting real cooperation. He's only getting obedience because he can command it.
And that's something he should be made to realize for his own good.
Well, we can't cover everything in one picture. Here's what we're going to do. Jump to scene 119, starting with your line, Frank. We'll take it from there and see if it adds up. All set? Action.
The future will show who's right about this.
We can introduce the future right now. That is, if you're sure you want to see it.
Wait. I don't want to know the future. I mean, I don't know what I mean. Look, I've always been a practical man. It takes a practical man to run a corporation.
Or to push a broom, or stay out of trouble, or secure cooperation, or create human progress. It's the same for everyone.
But I've always tried to do the right thing, as I see it.
Everyone tries to do the right thing, as he sees it. That's one great truth that's been misunderstood more often than any other.
Well, if everyone else misses it too, why pick on me? What can I do about it?
Look at it the other way. What can it do for you? You might profit by it.
Oh? Well, give me some specifics. But keep them practical.
I'll try. I've got them here somewhere. Let's see. How to do it department. How to hide from the Super U-bomb. It's funny, nothing but a blank sheet. I guess nobody knows very much about that. Ah, here we are. Laws governing the behavior of people and how to profit therefrom. You want to make notes?
No, just read them.
Always watch what you are doing from the viewpoint of your audience. Always keep in mind what's behind your own viewpoint. Don't deny something just because you can't see it. Search for the viewpoint that will reveal it.
Wait, stop. You're just confusing me. Can't you give me something simple? I want something I can remember.
I do have a condensation here somewhere. However, it's so simple, people find it rather hard to understand, or at least hard to follow. Want to try?
Am I still under arrest?
You're a self-made man like everyone else, remember? And you're the judge. What's the verdict?
I'm not sure I really understand it. Maybe I never will. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Cut! Okay, boys, that's it. Wrap it up. Thank you all very much.
Kill the overhead, Joe.
Frank?
Later, I can. Good.
Run the work light. Is that all there is?
Well, we could show case histories from now till kingdom come. We've told the basic story.
By the way, what was on that card that impressed Baxter so?
It's right there on the desk. Have a look.
Well, that's the card you said came in at the end.
That's right. That's what the whole picture's been leading up to.
It's that simple.
I don't know. I guess it's sort of up to you. Well, how about that coffee?
Okay.
'66 has, by almost any measure, been a great year for you and Royal Crown Cola Company. A late summer survey by one of the nation's top market study firms shows two most significant facts. Fact number one, Royal Crown Cola showed a definite and substantial increase in its share of the regular cola market, the market which is the biggest end of the soft drink business. And fact number two, Downright is still holding firmly to its dominant 40% share of low-calorie cola sales, sales which, by the way, resumed a solid upward trend in 1966. Behind these dramatic and heartwarming figures is a story of careful planning, of unrelenting effort, and of unprecedented dollar expenditures for advertising, merchandising, and promotion for you and for the bottling plants that you represent. Needless to say, much of the credit for this picture of progress belongs to you, the Royal Crown Cola route salesman. Without your dedication, our solid growth and increasing share of market for the last 5 years would never have been possible. Because of you and others like you, because of your abilities, your efforts, your continuing good dealer service, Royal Crown Cola Company products continue to show an increase in distribution and availability. Because of you and others like you, your sales of Royal Crown Cola are growing at a considerably faster rate than any of your competitors. You and the brands that you sell are the talk of the soft drink industry. This year, the pace won't let up. Our plans call for still more growth, for even greater distribution and even more availability. Part of this job, a very large part of it, is yours. Early in 1966, your company published another favorable annual report showing that during 1965, sales increased 13%, from over $47 million to over $53 million. This report is the picture of a sound company, a growing company, and yet the picture of a company that spends more and more each year to help you increase sales on the route that you run. Last year, more advertising and promotion dollars were put behind the brands you sell than ever before in the history of the company. This year of 1967 will again set new expenditure records. The results in increased sales, greater brand prestige, and greater consumer and dealer acceptance are benefiting all of us, and we intend to continue these expenditures, to continue to plow back a big portion of every income dollar to help make the brands you sell an even stronger factor in the soft drink market. You may not be aware of it, but the great majority of the dollars allocated by Royal Crown Cola Company to promotion and advertising are funneled directly to your local plant for your managers to spend as they see fit to strengthen your position in your market and to put maximum muscle where it counts most, at the local level. During the past year, one-way glass packaging has become more and more important in some markets, and many of you are aware of the increasing emphasis that's been placed on one-way bottles in some areas. But the decision to use this package is an extremely important one. A decision that must be made on a market-by-market basis by your bottler and his Royal Crown regional or district manager. Whenever your bottler feels it is necessary and desirable, this one-way glass is available to help him move quickly, and you may be sure that he's giving it genuine consideration. Wraparound cartons, basket-type carriers, and neck-through cartons are available today for most bottle sizes and styles. A full range of POP materials, mats, and promotional pieces are also ready for use. One of the most important things that happened to Royal Crown Cola during the past year came from the people in the RC packaging department. They provided cartons with RC on 4 sides and bottles which are labeled on the shoulder. it makes an impressive package. Company promotional efforts have moved at a brisk pace. Again this past year, we co-sponsored the Miss Universe pageant in Miami Beach. From the opening night parade through downtown Miami to the crowning of the winner on national television, the 1966 pageant was a smashing success. The 70 beauties who competed in this contest paraded before CBS television cameras in prime Saturday night time. Those of you who saw it certainly heard them mention Royal Crown Cola, although it was not planned that way. Our sponsorship entitles us to use both Miss USA and Miss Universe for promotional activities and personal appearances throughout the year. Miss Maria Ramena of El Cerrito, California was selected Miss USA and has already begun appearances in behalf of Downright Cola, the product she represents. Winner of the Miss Universe title was Miss Sweden, Margareta Arvidsson. Not only did the pageant judges like Miss Arvidsson, but photographers at the Hallover Beach photo party voted her Miss Photogenic. And by the way, this Miss Universe speaks English. A new national public relations program was inaugurated last year and has gotten off to a most satisfactory start. The Royal Crown University series with Art Linkletter is rendering an important public service coast to coast and is exposing our products and our company to an important but difficult to reach segment of the consumer market. Mr. Linkletter, during this past year, appeared on 8 college and university campuses under the Royal Crown University Series banner, speaking to standing room only audiences of students and professors about such important topics as free enterprise, our nation's revolutionary heritage, and teenage morals. With unmatched skill and balance, he has fielded questions about everything from LSD to Vietnam. Well publicized in advance and widely reported in both the college and community press, Art's appearances involve audience participation and small gatherings with student leaders who are the taste setters of tomorrow. In the small gatherings which follow his talks, Art has impressed thousands of young people with the quality of our products, creating new consumers for you on your route. These appearances also include interview sessions with the press, radio, and TV, and Downright sampling parties for women's groups. They're helping Royal Crown Cola to reach an audience that helps mold buying habits, and that makes getting in the hard stops easier for you. During the spring, national promotions for Royal Crown Cola and Downright ran back-to-back. The Downright Family Fund Sweepstakes was successful beyond all expectations. More than 9 million entry forms were shipped to bottling plants, and about 900,000 completed forms were sent in by consumers. This 10% return is extremely high. We were most happy with this, our first national consumer promotion for Downright. Following the Family Fund contest, the RC Flip It Rich Zip Stakes attracted 600,000 entries, representing a 7% return on the entry forms distributed. 90% of the entry forms had actual save-a-seals attached, meaning consumers actually bought products, and many bought them from stores on your route. This past fall, many of you participated in our first effort to make additional consumer mileage out of our advertising character, Zippy. The Buy Zippy for $1 and Get a Carton of RC Free promotion helped to extend our summer selling season by several weeks. Bigger and better use of promotions this year made this part of your selling effort more effective than ever before. RC sales promotion people are to be congratulated for the concept, as are you to be praised for your contribution to the execution of this program. Taken together, all of these activities and the thousands of others which we haven't time to mention add up to progress. Progress in sales, progress in profits, progress in share of market, progress in consumer and dealer acceptance, progress in prestige, and progress in the achievement of an ever more solid position for our brands as a major factor in the American marketplace. This has got to be good for all of us. It's got to mean that our trademarks and your routes are growing in value every day. Your skill, your cooperation with national and local programs, your persistent striving for total availability have put us into select company. This is pointed out by the fact that the nation's most respected business publication, Fortune magazine, in an article about the soft drink industry this summer, mentioned only 3 companies. One of the 3 was Royal Crown Cola Company.
Sales, X1, take 2.
Hi there. Do you agree there's nothing like an RC after a hard day's work? Boy, this is going to taste good. We've just finished about a 10-hour day here in Hollywood. You see, we just finished shooting the new RC TV commercials. And while it looks like fun, and it is fun, nevertheless, a lot of hard work has gone into them. You might not realize it from that side of the camera, but I thought it might be interesting for you to find out just what goes on this side of the camera, because there's a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work that goes into the production of every one of those TV commercials. Now, first, you've got to have the idea. And while there have been a lot of changes in this business over the years, that's one thing that has never changed and never will. The success of advertising always depends on a basic idea. Now, today, instead of coming up with just one idea, several are developed and taken out and tested with typical consumers. Now, this process increases the odds that the advertising will really be effective. So, you see, a lot of work goes on before we ever come into the studio with the cameras and the film and all the rest of it. Say, you know, that's a good drink. Then, once you get into production, there's a lot more work which has to be done before you can shoot. You have to organize the crew, cast, block out action, select locations and building sets, and, well, in the casting alone, it's necessary sometimes to screen, or as we say, audition, 40 to 50 people to get just the 5 who are the right type of people, the RC kind of people. Now, of course, if they're beautiful girls, sometimes it's necessary to audition a couple of 100 of them. But it's pleasant work, and we don't mind. Now, I'll show you what I mean. Take this little fellow convincing me that he gets more for the money in RC half-quarts. He even gave me a drink on the house to prove it. You have to look a long time to find a youngster who'll do that just right. Look at these kids in the picnic location now. Now, aren't those really the RC kind of kids? I mean, they're wholesome, real, fresh-looking, and some are very pretty and cute, aren't they? And they like to drink RC so much, I had a hard time getting a drink for myself. You know, people sitting in their homes watching their TV sets just can't realize what goes into the shooting of a 1-minute spot. And it takes far more than just a minute and a lot of people. Now, actually, looking around here today, well, there are over 22 people on the set, but over 100 people are directly involved in the creating and the shooting and producing each commercial. And each of those people is an experienced professional. For instance, take the producer on this job, Lou Lilly. He's been making television commercials since 1952. It's one of the oldest companies in the business. His commercials have won awards from the Advertising Association of the West, the American TV Commercials Festival, and even the International Film and TV Festival. Now, the director, Tom Armistead, has also had a lot of experience. He's directed commercials for most of the biggest names in American business: General Motors, Ford, General Foods, Procter & Gamble, Eastman Kodak, Goodyear, and many more. Now, of course, besides these key men, there are the cameramen, the assistants, the lighting and sound technicians, the prop man, the art director, the grips, and the script girl, and, of course, there's Bob Nugent of Darcy, that's Darcy Advertising Agency, and Tom Mayton from RC, that's Royal Crown, from Columbus, and there are a great many other people. We don't know what they do. They just sit around, drink RC, and smile. Now, all kidding aside, every one of these people has a specialized individual function to perform. And, of course, there has to be a lot of teamwork to get a film like this. And, oh, the young man on that board, see him? He's not just any surfer, either. He's Phil Edwards, who was on a recent cover of Sports Illustrated. And the man shooting him is Bruce Brown, the top specialist in surfing photography. I've really enjoyed working on these commercials. I think they're the best we've ever had. And you'll be as excited as I am when you see them. But anyhow, you know that I'm working for you all year long, not just here in the studio, but trips across the country, visits to the bottlers, talks with university and colleges, everywhere I can work to sell RC. So, of course, my best to each of you because you're part of my gang. Good luck, good selling, and this is a great drink.
Cut.
Hi there.
You want something, Mr. Linkletter?
Well, I'll take an RC if you don't mind.
I don't mind. RC is the only cola I'm selling.
How's business?
Couldn't be better thanks to RC's half-quart size.
Say, what's the big secret about the half-quart size?
Well, you're a nice man, so I guess I can tell you.
I appreciate your confidence.
RC half-quarts give me a lot more for the money.
You mean ounce for ounce, glass for glass, RC Cola in half-quarts costs you less than the leading competitive brand?
Yeah, and I get 3 servings in each RC half-quart.
Well, that's like getting a bonus in every bottle.
You know about that, too.
Yes.
Hey, how do you like an RC on the house?
Oh, I'll buy you one.
Don't worry. It won't cost either of us a cent. I just poured you the bonus serving.
Hey, I'll bet you're going to say you'll flip at the Zip in RC.
You know about that, too?
Drink big, save big. Drink big, save big. RC half quarts. Drink big, save big. Drink big, save big. RC half quarts. Drink big, save big. Drink big, save big. RC half quarts.
Drink big, save big with RC half quarts. RC half quarts give you more for your money. In fact, ounce for ounce and glass for glass, RC Cola in half quarts costs you less than the leading competitive brand. You get 3 servings in each RC half quart, and that's like getting a bonus in every bottle. And that bonus serving always seems to taste a little bit better. You'll flip at the Zip in RC. Get RC half quarts.
All right, you guys, here's the target. It's RC Cola. It's got a secret formula for Zip, and we want it. Okay, Irving, roll the captured film.
You'll flip at the Zip in RC Cola, the Zip in RC Cola Royal Crown.
Hold it. I'll see all the fun those people are having after drinking RC Cola.
Catchy jingle.
Shut up and roll it.
Stop that thirst, start the fun with the energy in the lively one.
Hold it. Here's the enemy. His name is Zippy. I think he's behind it all. Now watch closely.
Ready when you are, CB.
Roll it.
You flip at the Zip in RC Cola, the Zip in RC Cola Royal Crown.
Hey, roll that back and let's take another look.
Get in on the secret of Zip. Get RC.
Gentlemen, we finally found it. RC Cola.
Careful, they say Royal Crown is loaded with Zip.
So what's Zip?
I don't know, something about quick, fresh energy.
Let's find out. Men, grab it. Son of a gun. RC looks like all the others to me. We've got to find RC Cola's secret formula for Zip.
Yeah.
This is a job for Super Zippy. They'll never discover the secret formula for Zip. Only RC Cola's got it. Oh!
Now the secret's out. It's RC Cola, loaded with quick, fresh energy. Zip you can taste, Zip you can feel. You flip at the zip in RC.
Get in on the secret of zip. Get RC.
When you lead this kind of life, Diet Right figures to be part of it. Ask Stephanie Epper, a girl born to be a horsewoman. Diet Right Cola, the one with the wonderful taste. Real old-time cola taste, and less than 1 calorie to its name. Icy, thirst-quenching, delicious Diet Right Cola. The one with the wonderful taste. Real old-time cola taste. And less than 1 calorie to its name. You just know it's the one to go with. If you want the wonderful taste of real old-time cola without filling calories, insist on Diet Right Cola. Most people do. When you lead this kind of life, Diet Right figures to be part of it. Ask Paul Horn, a young man already making his mark in the exciting world of jazz. Diet Right Cola, the one with the wonderful taste. Real old-time cola taste, and less than 1 calorie to its name. Icy, thirst-quenching, delicious Diet Right Cola. The one with the wonderful taste. Real old-time cola taste, and less than 1 calorie to its name. You just know it's the one to go with. If you want the wonderful taste of real old-time cola without filling calories, insist on Diet Right Cola. Most people do.
Maybe it started with Huck Finn. A boy's world often grows to be a man's world. There is hope, promise, and adventure, all there in the world of boats and boating. Perhaps there's no greater thrill in water sport than that of skiing. It's wet and jazzy, completely pizzazzy.
In the French Alps, there is a story about the sport of water skiing. It's about the shaggy dog and his owner, Jean-Pierre Fromage. Jean-Pierre is a ski trooper, and he depart on a holiday. He ski and ski for many miles, and then his life take a big turn. Voila, the Riviera. Jean-Pierre say this is a warm and friendly place, no? He say it is better to ski on the water than on the snow. Without he take off his skis, Jean-Pierre start a new sport.
Then Fred Waller hit the scene. Fred was an inventor with a big idea. He joined two boards with a bridle. With this brainchild, he received the first patent for water skis in 1925. Here's how skiing shaped up for the next 30 years. These photos show the sport in every form. Here's the long and the short, the thick and the thin, all with some dazzling acrobatics. The American Water Ski Association certifies instructors such as Rich Johnson of Winter Haven, Florida. In classes like this, hundreds of youngsters learn the basics of skiing every year. Equipment plays a vital part. The towboat must carry gear that's both legally required and recommended by the Coast Guard. The first lessons begin ashore. The student learns how to grasp the tow bar and how to flex her knees. This dry run simulates the action of the skier in the water. These are the basics as taught on the beach. With a good coach, many beginners learn to ski their first time out. The towboat is a stable runabout with go power to spare. Its speed is more than 35 miles an hour. In addition to its driver, every towboat must carry an observer. An orange buoy is the official marker on a slalom course. This bright color is easily spotted by a fast-moving skier. A slalom course is 315 yards long. The skier's boat runs down a center line. The skier must round each buoy on the course and pass through an exit gate. In competition, a skier earns points by making a clean pass through the gates and around the buoys. Timing is an important factor. A skier reaches speeds of over 60 miles an hour as he zooms from one buoy to the next. When a skier completes his run, he must travel the course in the opposite direction. Here's a demonstration of the most basic of tricks, the side slide. It is usually performed on elliptical skis. The side slide leads to the turnaround. Rich zips through some 180 and 360-degree turns. He then tops it off with a helicopter spin. Jumping is a big draw in tournament competition. On his approach to the ramp, Rich tries for top speed. Many skiers are members of the Century Club. This is an elite group which has made jumps of 100 feet or more. Some say the Egyptians started it. 2 boys and a girl. That's all it takes to build a pyramid. Of course, there's always the guy with the simple approach. Like this barefoot boy, footloose and fancy-free. The delta wing is a new twist to flying a kite. Rich is airborne at a boat speed of 30 miles an hour. A delta wing skier controls his rate of climb. Some kite flyers have attained heights of over half a mile. Rich cuts loose from his towboat. He controls his angle of glide. He soars on the wings of the wind. Superman in the fabulous world of boats and boating.
Here, day after day, I've become an authority on modern business. Things have been changing. It's a world of innovation, specialization, complexities, and acts like a lady. Travel is one reason secretaries have more responsibility these days. Executives can be found almost anywhere in the world.
Right. I'm in aerospace. My boss travels all over the country. When he is here, I can't get in to see people waiting for appointments. I never get to fill him in.
Don't make it a contest. Let me do it.
You?
Sure. Instead of spending valuable time trying to tell him everything, just type everything. And by indicating priorities, he gets to the important things first. Put it on his desk in a prominent place, and then he can read it at his convenience. Remind him of those priorities. And you should mother the mail.
Mother the mail?
Sure. Not only put the important letters on top, but mark the parts he should read, and note the letters you can answer. You'll end up saving time for him and for yourself.
I should have thought of that.
What is that?
A report. And it's the 6th time I've done it. Keeps coming back with revisions.
For good reason. Today's management works as a team of decision makers, and you're part of that team.
Which means I have to type team reports. My boss does a draft. He goes over it with other department heads. They make changes, and I have to reset my tabs and margins.
Next time, keep a copy of the report for yourself. Pencil in the tab settings, centerings, and margins, and if everything isn't changed on the next draft, you won't have to refigure so much. Maybe not at all.
Thanks. You know, sometimes I can use your paper lock scale to save time in setting margins and tabs. It's so easy to set up headings and columns because all your scales go in the same direction.
By the way, all my carriage controls work the same way. Forward to release. Back to lock. Easy to remember.
Hey, you're terrific. How can I ever thank you? Want a rocket?
Well, no thanks, but thanks anyway. Back to business. Today, to be an expert secretary, you have to be a mind reader.
Oh, you're so right. I've just taken an hour of dictation. There's a rush letter and a memo that needs dates and figures from the Board of Education before it can be finished. I need a crystal ball to find out where they are.
Well, crystal balls are out. Try paper clips, part of your secretary's survival kit. Just clip the page when you have to take a rush letter and there's something you have to look up.
That's a glorious idea when I have time. But my boss dictates like students running at the final bell.
If he's that fast, use the accordion or the diagonal fold. The accordion fold for the incomplete, and the diagonal fold for the rush. I call that coding booby traps.
Lovely. What else should I put into my survival kit?
Everything you need to play the paper game. You know, the boss tries to get all the papers off his desk and onto yours.
And I try to get them back onto his to be signed and out.
That's how it's played. So when you go in for dictation, take along a couple of file folders to sort papers if there's an interruption. A small pad for phone calls and errands, your paper clips, your appointment book.
You're marvelous. How can I ever thank you? You get an A+.
Thanks. In today's business, you should expect changes. Think like management. See the whole picture and plan ahead. It means proofreading for sense as well as mistakes. It means not just typing notes for the meeting, but figuring how many will be at the meeting.
But my job is different from secretaries who work in large organizations. I don't mind typing long reports and letters, but for every patient, I've got to make a card record with degrees and footnotes. Do you know how much time I spend just lining them up?
Let me do as much of your work as I can.
Well, you can type them for me.
No, but I can do just about everything else. Now, type in the information. Over on the left is my line finder. Just pull it forward. Turn the carriage knob toward you slightly. Type the degree sign. Put the line finder back. And turn the carriage knob slightly away from you.
Great. It clicks right back into place.
That's my line finder.
Whoops. I've hit bottom.
Don't worry about it. My plastic card holder and my paper lock let you type on the very last line. No. You're not using me.
What do you mean?
Just press my vertical spacer and watch. See?
Whee! Right back in place. How can I ever thank you? Oh, would you like some...
Well, no, thanks. But I'd like to tell you about some more shortcuts in your work.
That's very kind of you, but I've been secretary to the president of this corporation for quite a while now, and I'm sure I know all the shortcuts.
Well, I'm sure you do. I can see how well organized you are.
I should be after all these years. Now, if you excuse me, Mr. O is waiting to sign this letter.
You'll find it easier to straighten that carbon set on my nice flat surface. Hold it. Want to make sure your carbons don't slip? Release my line finder. Put in a half sheet of paper. Drop the carbons behind my roller. Now pull.
Well, all straight. I sometimes use an envelope myself.
I think you'll like the half sheet better. It is faster.
You seem to know so much. Show me a quick way to adjust for carbon copies.
I'll show you the quickest possible. No adjustment. You don't have to adjust with me. I've got an exclusive Royal Magic Monitor.
Magic monitor?
I'll have to flip my lid to show you.
Really?
My Magic Monitor actually senses the thickness of the carbon pack and adjusts for it so that...
My last carbon is as clear as my first, and there's no cutting through on my original. Amazing! Now for the envelopes.
Wait. Do it the easy way. Set the envelope right behind the roller. Pull the line finder forward and pull the letter out. Put the line finder back.
I'll have to address envelopes for the copies as well.
Change your margin instead of tabulating for the addresses. Don't take it out. Just roll that envelope back toward you. Insert the next one facing you under the first and type. Do the same thing for all of them. Roll the envelopes away from you. See? All stacked.
Just as I typed them, and in the right order for the copies. I've been doing the envelopes another way, but I have to agree that yours is faster. Well, I must admit you've saved me a lot of time today, young man. Well, whatever you are. Thank you very much.
Listen, you've spent enough time with her. Now it's my turn.
Okay, just relax.
Relax? How can I relax? I work for a crazy hat designer who designs crazy hats. And I'm going crazy myself with mistakes. Look at this. See, I left out the second O. Now I have to type the whole announcement over.
I'll show you how to put in that second O without redoing a single line. After you've erased the letters L-O-K, position your carriage to the last letter of the last word you typed correctly. Space. Now hold down the error correction key and strike your L. Release and repeat for each character.
I got it. I can't believe it. I got 4 letters into a 3-letter space, all spaced perfectly. You wouldn't even know I made a correction.
This, by the way, is one excellent reason why you should always proofread your work while it's still lined up. Remember, the expert works with a minimum of motion.
Well, your error correction key certainly saved me time. I would have been here all night redoing that announcement. Have a hat.
Oh, really? Well, nobody likes to work overtime.
Nobody likes to. But I've only been here for 2 weeks, and it seems to me that I'm always doing it. The senator is in meetings most of the day, so it's always near 5 o'clock when he dictates. Naturally, he expects me to transcribe that night and...
Why naturally? Sometimes we create our own problems. Maybe the senator simply wants to clear his desk.
But how do I know that?
The easiest way to find out is to ask. What are you doing now?
I do this to see when I'm coming to the end of the page.
I can do it faster, better, and easier with my line meter. You just set it, put your paper in.
But what happens when I use government-sized paper, which is shorter?
No problem. For shorter government-sized paper, roll it to the broken line just below set. When you're almost to the bottom of the page, you get a 2-inch warning, 1.5 inch, 1 inch, and 1/2 inch. And when you see the word end, you're at the bottom of the page. No lines to pencil and none to erase.
Gee, I don't know how to thank you. Would you like to meet the senator?
Maybe later. Today, the typewriter is just one small part of the secretary's job. But your sales representative, the right supplies, and I can make that part simpler and smoother. We're living in an electric world. More speed and less effort.
My boss is delighted with the new way I type his messages. I let you talk to him.
With my secretarial survival kit, I feel like a mind reader.
Mistakes are easy to correct with your error correction key.
With business changing as fast as it does, I guess I can always learn something new. You were a dream to teach me about your line finder.
I found so many uses for it. You were right. My boss never intended that I should work late every day. All I had to do was ask.
It was a pleasure talking to you. And don't forget to let your typewriter work for you. See you in the morning.
Once upon a time, an Englishman named Leofric agreed to give the peasants a little tax rebate if his wife, Lady Godiva, would ride through town stark naked. Now, Leofric didn't count on Godiva's beautiful long hair, a type of clothing in and of itself. But neither did Godiva count on the day being the dampest in the year, 1033. The dear thing just sat there on a horse, watching her hair frizz up until her lovely social conscience was revealed in its entirety. And all because she didn't have a 36-inch hairpiece. The moral of the story? If you want to take a man for a ride, start by wigging out. Since the beginning of recorded time, women's hair has made them preen or pout with alarming continuity. You might call it nature's original sin against us girls. Like most things, it started with Eve, a girl with naturally lovely hair. But just one bite of an apple, and all her ends were split. Now you know why Adam and Eve are responsible for the fall. Then there was Cleopatra. She gave up a perfectly pleasant life with a bald old man on the banks of the Nile to take up with a younger fellow named Mark Antony. He criticized her East Bank, he criticized her West Bank, he criticized her Delta, and he criticized her hair. First it was too curly, then it was too straight, then it was too long, then it was too short. She should have stuck with Julius Caesar. You never know. Maybe she wouldn't have wound up flat in her asp. Several hundred years later, a girl named Rapunzel let down her golden hair and gave herself a super migraine. How would your scalp feel if a man climbed up your hair in hobnail boots every night? But Rapunzel solved her problem, and no one was the wiser. That's what we call quite a switch. A simple little stretch wig to cover her curls would have helped Joan of Arc. A plain hairstyle would have set off those tailored clothes she always wore. As it was, Joan got the surprise of her life when they gave her that bowl cut. Oh, well, her father should have told her not to listen to voices. So you see, through the years, women's hair has created problems of historic importance. And even today, how often have you heard, "I just wash my hair and I can't do a thing with it"? And while toiletries and cosmetics manufacturers and hairdressers and beauticians valiantly attempt to cope with women's hair problems by inventing miracle sprays, wonder shampoos, fabulous rinses, and sensational conditioners, for many women, nothing can relieve their anxiety about their hair. Whatever the case, millions of them have tried over the years to deal with their hair troubles by buying a wig made of real hair. But here, too, there were problems. And some have been heard to say, "I just wash my wig, and I can't do a thing with it. Can't do a thing with it." Now, back in the 17th century, everyone wore wigs. And the scarcity of human hair led wig makers to use animal hair instead, which fooled some of the people some of the time. Since then, wig makers have tried many fibers, including real hair, in their search for an answer to women's problems. And some of the greatest beauties have had recourse to the wig maker's art, if only to augment what can be a girl's greatest asset.
While dancing at that moving picture ball, some scenario, great big stars paraded around the hall. They were Mario, handsome.
In the last 10 years or so, several new fibers have been used by manufacturers of wigs. These are the synthetics, and they do make hair pieces that are a lot better than most wigs were. But even synthetics can have their problems, and the voice of the complainer was heard in the land. "I just washed my synthetic wig and I can't do a thing with it." The time, 1971. Monsanto Company invents a totally new wig fiber, washable, dryable, practically weightless, and the most stylable wig fiber ever introduced. Enter Elora. Elora is better than any other synthetic wig fiber. Elora is better than real hair. In the hottest places you'll ever go, Elora keeps its cool. In the dampest spots on Earth, Elora won't frizz. Now, some synthetic fibers make marvelous flippy, bouncy styles, but have a totally fake-looking sheen. Other synthetic fibers have the sheen of real hair, but when it comes to bounce, they just sort of hang there. Only Elora bounces and flips and shines like beautifully clean, healthy hair. But don't just think of what Elora can do for you. Think of what you can do with Elora. Wear your Elora wig as is. The style is baked in. Wash it, dry it, and wear it again. Or wet it and set it. Or don't wet it and set it with your hot rollers. The easiest, most marvelous styling your wig has ever had. Wet it again, set it again. Elora and your hot rollers were made for each other because heat is the thing, the marvelous thing that makes every style you choose last as long as you choose, until you choose to change it. Believe me, you'll run out of ideas before Elora does. Elora follows fashion beautifully. Elora follows fashion as far as you'd like it.
As time goes on, I realize just what you mean to me. And
And Elora makes fashion. In fact, Elora makes fashion history. What you are seeing will be making fashion news all over the world. Elora creates the printed wig, designed by the man who reinvented printed fashion fabrics, Julian Thompson. Styled for Elora by Kenneth.
But
Put on your red dress, baby, 'cause we're going out tonight. You better wear some boxing gloves, girl, in case some fool might wanna fly. Put on your high heel sneakers and your wig hat on your head. Now, did you hear what I said now? Put on your high heel sneakers, mama, yeah, and your wig hat on your head. Well, I'm pretty sure, sweet darling, I'm pretty sure you're gonna knock on my door. Well, put on your red dress, mama, because we're going out tonight. Put on your red dress, mama, 'cause we're going out tonight. She getting good, might wanna buy it. Oh yeah. Well, put on your high heel sneakers, honey, and your wig hat on your head now. I said, put on your high heel sneakers, and your wig hat on your head. Well, I'm pretty sure, sweet darling, I'm really pretty sure.
For every woman? No. But for fashion innovators. For the young and the exuberant. And for every woman who, like Eve, Cleopatra, Rapunzel, and Joan, would like to make a little history herself. Oh yes, and like Lady Godiva, how much happier she would have been in Allura. Let's hope that adorable peeping Tom is watching.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna knock on that. Well, put on your high heel sneakers and your wig on your head, down your head. You hear what I said? I said put on your high.
Talk to you? I don't seem to have much choice, do I? Where can I run to?
This is an elevator, isn't it? Well, where will I begin? My name is Denise Altman. Yes, I'm a little taller than average. No, that doesn't present any problem in this day and age. But right now I'm a size 14, trying to get down to a size 10. My husband says I've been on a diet ever since we've been married. Of course I'm interested in fashion. Show me a woman that's not interested in fashion, and I'll show you a very uninteresting woman.
This 30-year-old is called Always on a Diet Denise, because her diet inevitably starts tomorrow. And there's a gooey sweet roll in that brown bag to prove it.
Of course I'm interested in price as well as fashion. After all, we have other things to budget for other than my clothes.
Oh, it was fun talking with you, even if I was trapped into it. Goodbye.
I've been working here 2.5 years, and no matter how hard I try, it always seems like I barely make it to work on time. My name is Susan Costello. I didn't buy any new clothes for work. I just came in wearing the same clothes I'd worn to school. I took a good look around me that first day on the job, and it was pretty clear that that wouldn't work. Everything seemed out of place.
Hello, I'm Letitia Baldridge, Director of Consumer Affairs for Burlington Industries. The girls you just saw are typical of working women everywhere. In fact, our office building, Burlington House, is like a city in miniature. It's full of people of all ages, shapes, and sizes. And the attractive women are the ones who have self-respect. They care about how they look. I think it's a privilege to be a working woman in America today. We have more chances to succeed in business than ever before. But that's part of the challenge. Now, a man is lucky. He makes a selection of his suit, shirt, and tie. He polishes his shoes, combs his hair, and he's ready for the office. For us ladies, it's more complicated. Our grooming checklist is long. We have to worry about our coordinated wardrobe, accessories, hair, makeup. Everything must be harmonious. And we must be meticulously neat and in fashion. Without simplicity in grooming, there is no fashion. Let's take a look at the Fashion Right girl for 1970 this summer in her office.
Yes, sir. No, that's all the messages. I'll put away all the important correspondence on your desk. Fine. Now, can I tell any callers that you'll be in the office tomorrow? Very good. Goodbye, Mr. Townsend. Oh, you startled me. I didn't hear you come in.
Marlene is a college graduate in her late 30s, married, and the mother of 2 children who are taken care of by her own mother at home. This secretary is an important part of her office staff, and one of her jobs is training new secretaries on how to handle the telephone properly.
Of course, I've had a number of promotions over the years. My secret? There's no secret involved. A girl has to be aware of how important her appearance is on the job. She should buy clothes that look well on her, regardless of fashion or fad. Given a choice, always understate rather than overdress. Fortunately, I wear a size 8, so finding the right styles for me never presents a problem.
This girl looks well in her beach culotte, bare legs, and beach clogs. However, sundresses, beach shifts, shorts, and bare legs are not for the office, nor are beach sandals, ballet slippers, and scuffs flopping around. Besides, feet feel cooler properly shod in hot city streets. How much better this girl looks now, properly dressed in a safari shirt dress and fashion-right shoes. Her whole appearance changes. Pantsuits on a slim girl like Susan are great, but in a company not related to the fashion business, they look wrong and unfeminine. Where pantsuits are allowed, some girls tend to show up for work in any old slacks and top. Susan looks so much better on her job in a dress. If a girl loses her femininity in the office, she has lost her greatest asset. A girl doesn't look right in the office chewing gum. That's something to do on her own time, like many enjoyable things. Marlene's skirt is too short here, and the boots, while good-looking in themselves, are too unfeminine and distracting in an office. An unbooted Marlene looks so very nice in a skirt of the proper length. A short skirt with improper underwear is a view too many people have in too many offices. Here's Susan again wearing pantyhose, bending down in a graceful manner, the right kind of office view. This man has good reason to look harried. He's trying to get his work done against insurmountable odds. She may think the sound of her bracelets is lovely music. To him, they sound like an unbearably loud clinkety-clank. Noisy jewelry is not for the office. Of course, if you wear a uniform on the job, you have no fashion problem in the office. Without good posture, there is no fashion. An erect, proud carriage makes a $15 dress look like one costing $200. And the way a girl sits is part of good posture, too. Denise sits proudly, whether she's at her desk or making a call on her banker. A girl who stands and sits erect looks better and trimmer in her clothes. A girl often has to leave right from the office for an important engagement, wearing the same dress. She can carry her whole evening look to work in a tote bag. She first completely cleanses the tired old makeup from her face. Then comes a fresh application with a touch more evening glamour. Her hair receives its perking up, too. A pair of dressy earrings, a dash of perfume, dressier shoes and handbag, and the transformation is complete. When one is young, well-groomed and pretty, like these secretaries readying a conference table, it's difficult to look anything but well. As they grow older, they should grow even more fastidious about their grooming, posture, and fashion, because youth is forgiven many things others are not. This executive has worked in the same Chicago organization since 1936. Her posture is impeccable, her figure trim, her hair proudly gray. She wears her skirts this summer just to the knee. She looks the way a woman should at her age. Her cotton plaid suit has a flaring pleated skirt, a perfect easy style for office wear. The single-breasted jacket is slimming. And for a party after work, she changes at the office into a black crepe dress, artfully embroidered in white on the bodice. The more mature woman can wear a tunic over blouse pantsuit, too. Here are two examples, left and right, which if worn unbelted, make a good weekend relaxing costume for a mature figure. A woman who is a size 18 has to learn to look at a young model like this and see herself in that dress. It's a question of learning how to edit fashion for oneself. This kind of dress, easy fitting with straight lines and sleeves, looks well on the heavier figure. The woman who has slim arms can wear something like this sleeveless dress and coat ensemble anywhere. Or she can wear this peach-colored coat dress with its smart pockets and collar. And for the rain, a handsome dark slimming raincoat. The smart girl is the one who can juggle her shopping and a quick bite in one lunch hour.
Hey, this is kind of chic. Nice long slim jacket and full sleeves to cover up these fat arms. Oh, when I'm a size 10, I'm gonna look smashing in this.
Robin and Susan are going over the catalogs in the cafeteria.
Well, I like bright colors and patterns. I guess I always have.
So do I.
Oh, I like this particular skirt because it has an easy swing to it. That's great for the office, you know, easy to sit down in. I'm a size 7 now, so I don't have too much trouble buying clothes.
Well, personally, I buy lots of coordinates. Then I change them all around, and everyone thinks my wardrobe is larger than it really is. Like this three-piece knit ensemble. Coat, dress, and these gorgeous pants.
That's groovy.
I wear the dress to the office and save the pants for my off time.
And Marlene can have the nautical look in a red boat jacket with white pants. Pants in a stunning pattern of blue and gold, worn with a man's type blue shirt, trim and neat. For summer festive evenings, a brilliant patterned dress and shawl with fringe. The great long tunic look over a pleated skirt and the long scarf, a marvelous office outfit. A long navy torso dress ending in a burst of white pleats, and on her way to the office, she wears a smart scarf accessory. A go-everywhere yellow knit suit with a jacket striped and piped in white. The dress beneath is piped and belted also in white. Marlene can leave the office and go on to a party simply by adding clean white gloves to her black knit ensemble. Like many girls nowadays, Marlene owns a wig, which she sometimes wears to the office as well as to a party. Her afro wig is short and well-shaped.
Well, my off time's another story. My boyfriend wants me to wear mini skirts.
The short white skirt is Susan's cup of tea for this summer, worn with a brown flowered shirt. Another summer dress of the soft, clinging fabric that looks well on a slim figure. For a romantic evening, a soft, full-skirted style like an old-fashioned garden party dress. For a summer party, long beads of pearls on a soft mauve dress with a beautifully pleated skirt. For weekend playtime, Susan looks well in shorts or culottes. She's young and slim, so she can wear clothes that hug the figure. Brown, tight-fitting jeans with a brown and white striped shirt. The brown short skirt and flowered see-through shirt. Again, a playtime look in a wardrobe of coordinates. The shirt combines with matching slacks. Daisy splashed on green in a jumpsuit, sashed in white crepe. Susan would look great in her office in luscious pink with pleated skirt.
I think this is my favorite look. Hi. Just came from the dress shop. Hey, what do you think of these swatches?
Well, that's a pretty color.
Yeah.
Of course, I buy a lot of my clothes from these catalogs. I find they really keep up with all the latest fashions, and I can afford them.
Denise has solved her problem by making what she wants, which is an advantage every home sewer has. The dress on the right would be particularly good for Denise to make. A soft shirtwaist in earth tones, which she can wear unbelted, until she diets off those extra pounds. These three ladies are all wearing slimming outfits. On the left, a long cardigan goes over a knit dress, and on the right, two navy ensembles. A pantsuit with a long striped overblouse, which can be worn unbelted. For Denise or any woman with a figure problem, such a pants outfit would hide a multitude of figure faults. Another striped tunic overblouse with pants. The basic black sleeveless dress, in fashion since fashion began, but can something this useful go out? The soft look again, great for the office too, with a long figure hiding jacket and an easy pleated skirt. Sunflower yellow, a dress that can change its look every time with new accessories. A navy wardrobe of coordinates, the mix and match that would be so useful to anyone who works. This summer gives us wonderful colors in pantyhose and stockings to wear to the office. Delicious, mouth-watering pastels. They bring a delightful, subtle accent to the leg. They should be color coordinated to the wearer's costume and to her shoes. But for those blessed with good legs and who seek whimsy during their after-office hours, there are fashions like these in pantyhose and body stockings designed by Peter Max. They are fun. Those are wise ladies who know how to analyze themselves fashion-wise. They know what looks good on them. Of course, in the market, there are lots of little dresses that are basic and simple, like this navy knit, devoid of fads and furbelows. They're inexpensive, they look good on any woman, any age, anywhere. A woman can go from the office to a party with it. On Susan, the dress looks as though it were designed for a 19-year-old. She wears this basic costume with white accessories. On Marlene, the dress looks as though it were designed for the young sophisticate. She wears hers with a bright scarf at the neck and white accessories. On Denise, a similar dress is worn devoid of any color accent. She feels slim wearing dark blue. Fashion's total look is what counts. Susan's white shoes require more grooming than dark ones. Her hemline is appropriate for the office, and her hair is neatly tied back off her face with a colorful scarf. And while we're on the subject of accessories, they make an old dress spring to new life. The wise girl on a budget buys her shoes and bags in one color or in a combination of two colors. Then everything goes together. The well-placed scarf, the new hat, the spit and polish handbag and shoes, and the one smart jewel all provide the finished look, the total look. This swimsuit is on a slim young model, but is perfect for the older woman or for the fuller figure. The one-piece suit in red, black, and white. The side stripe also slims the figure. Fantasy, but if you can wear this beach cover-up, you'll get lots of attention. The saucy bikini is for the very young and the very trim. Fun in the rain. A girl can look great on the gloomiest of days. Raincoats are an important fashion item. We all know that over-teased hair and overly long false eyelashes are out, but each of us has her own special beauty problems. Each of us has to learn to keep our skin clean, to keep our hair in neat styles, and our makeup toned down in the office. Pablo is the cosmetic expert, and Hans is a leading hairstylist for Elizabeth Arden's in New York.
Which would be a few drops of moisturizer.
Oh, it smells so good.
It feels, and it's going to be very good for you too. So that's the moisturizer, which is the ideal base of any foundation. Then over your moisturizer for the daytime, just let's say you are going to the office, just have a little creme rouge. No more than this.
And what about the powder?
Now powder, add it little at a time. I'm going to use a brush-on powder, which is a more modern thing. When I've seen in profile, it makes more sense to have both some pink on the neck and some pink on the cheekbones. It's just very pretty. Now we pass to the eye makeup. This would go a very pale muted green. Would go right on the lid. For evening wear can also be worn perhaps all the way up to the brows. Right now it's fashionable as I'm using also eventually to apply some to the bottom lid below your bottom, underneath your bottom lashes, but I don't think you want to do that for the office.
No.
Then the brows. Try to use a fine line pencil so that won't look too penciled, too artificial. Now look down. Do you ever do eyeliner yourself?
Yes, I don't do a terribly good job of it.
Well, the trick is to look down in your mirror when you do it, and then it will enable you to have a better view of your lid. Dark brown for you, huh? Never black.
Oh, no.
You look down. Try to keep it fine. The eyeshadow, it's on. Now the mascara. case you don't know, you must apply it from the top first.
I always do it the other way.
In my opinion, you get your lashes much longer and thicker if you apply it from the top and from the bottom. You feel it?
Yeah, I sure do. It feels funny.
Now, it is very moisturizing. You were telling me before your lips are so dry.
Yeah.
This will help.
Great.
Because it's very low in color concentration.
And again, I like to keep it in a natural sort of, because for the office,
Well, I don't
think
like
it
it when
shouldn't
it's
be
all teased
overdone.
up, no.
Yeah, I think for office, it should be back, out of your face. And there are many ways you can do it, you know, with ribbons, scarves.
The evening makeup is just a little bit more than what you were wearing today at the office. Just the same foundation, but more blusher, as we did before. So you see in the mirror, it looks very good. You did more blusher, a little highlighting around the eyes, some eyeshadow, again, and a pair of lashes.
Beautiful.
I hardly recognize my eyes. You know, I've never had false eyelashes on before. Pablo put them on, then he just used a little liner, about 2 shades of shadow, little pink right here. I could do it myself.
You like this sound?
It's just wonderful.
A woman who cares about fashion should follow the high fashion world, including its magazines, even if the styles and the prices do not fit her life. Harper's Bazaar shows us the exotic and the beautiful and the look of tomorrow. We should be aware of these trends. And when we see something like this striped poncho, we can adapt it for ourselves. In fact, anything full of fantasy and far-out beauty should inspire us to copy and adjust it to our own lifestyle. I had the good fortune of working for 3 very famous women earlier in my career. I was social secretary to Mrs. David Bruce at our American Embassy in Paris, and for Claire Booth Luce at our embassy in Rome, and I was social secretary to the White House in the John F. Kennedy administration. These 3 ladies have been repeaters on the best dressed list, and they're known for their fashion and their grace, but particularly for their grooming and simplicity. And this look of simplicity is paramount in the new wardrobe of lengths available in a budget price range. Some of you will appear in the longer dresses this summer, especially for evening, like this purple linen meaty skirt with a sheer blouse. And the meaty coat will become more visible as time progresses. This one in blue denim, lined in red, is worn with matching jeans. Those red clogs are just right for this sports ensemble. Here's a blue meaty suit, French-inspired design with a short Eisenhower jacket. The scarf makes just the perfect accent to a long, slim line. For those who want to jump ahead into next fall's look, this is it. And the red raincoat, a long honey of a coat with a snakeskin belt and buttons. This seems to be the year of the snake. And this kind of well-cut coat would cheer up any dismal rain scene. It's a fashion-right morale raiser. We enjoyed sharing our fashion thoughts with you today. You are an integral part of your company because the working woman is essential to the business economy of this country. Many of you are essential to your husbands and children, too. But no matter how busy you are or how great your responsibilities, you owe it to yourself, to your job, and to your family to look well. This requires a fashion awareness, a sense of self-discipline, and the ability to shop wisely. No one can do this better than the American woman.
If it's anything to do with fabric, we do it at Burlington, and we do more of it than anyone in the world.